Hello everyone, in this video we are going to discuss the solution for multiply strings. Let's study the question, then we will see how we can do it. Alright, so in this question we have been given two non-negative integers called num1 and num2, which are represented as strings, which means they are given in string format. Okay, and what we need to do is we need to return the product of num1 and num2 in a string. Okay, simple enough. Now we have been told that we can't use any built-in library like big integer library or convert the input into the integer directly. It means that we can't use integer.parseInt or long.parseInt, okay, to convert a string to integer. And although we don't need any function to convert integer to string, but we are told that we should not use any kind of built-in functions such as like big integer library or something like that. Okay, so now let's see why do we need to multiply strings, or simply why we are storing number in strings and why we are trying to multiply these strings. We have already integer and long variables. We can use them directly to multiply them. Why we are taking such a headache? So let's see. Okay, all right, so the first thing that comes into our mind that we already have integer and long integer. So why do we actually need something like to store an integer in a string and multiply them using that? Okay, so simple thing I should say is that integer and long integer all have some limitations. For example, an integer can store up to how many bytes? To about 4 bytes. Okay, this is for int, and if we talk about long, it stores 8 bytes. Okay, so if we talk about our int here, it can store up to 9 digit number, and this can store up to 19 or 18 or 19 digit number. I really don't know how big is that. Okay, 18 or 19 digit numbers. Alright, int and long can work up to that certain range, but think about a number which has almost 30 digit or 40 digits. Okay, if we will talk about these numbers which have 40 digit or 50 digits, 30 digits, like that, then it will be very difficult to store them, right? I know that in some languages like Java we have big integer library, or in Python simply we can store any amount of number or any digits of number in integer. But still, we are talking about normally, let's say we don't have access to those kind of data types, okay, and we still need to do some this kind of uh, operation which include 30 digit number or 40 digit number. So how can we actually do that? It will be very difficult, right? We can't create a integer or long integer to store much this much of integer, this much, this big of an integer. But we can certainly create a string which has length of 30 or length of 40. String of string of 30 and 40 length can exist, right? So storing that integer in instead of integer format, if I will store it into string format, surely I can store that. or possibly if I will use an array to store every single digit, I can do that as well. Either I can use string or I can use array to store different digit. Array to store digits. Alright. So that's why we are trying to do it in the string format. Now if we will have string format, then it will have some kind of problem while we are trying to multiply them, because surely we can't do 123 string into 456 string and it will give output like that, right? So what we are trying to do is, we are given that we have stored some numbers in string and we need their multiplication, and these numbers could be very long, so we can't actually use long integer as well. So what we are trying to do is try to figure out a way so that we can actually multiply the strings and get one string as a result. Okay, so first thing we need to do is try to learn how we actually do multiplication. Okay, it may seem that it's a bit redundant because we have been doing multiplication since class 4th or 5th. Alright, so it's very easy. Yeah, everyone knows that. So in spite of we know already, let's still do that. 123 into 456. We are not actually trying to do multiplication here, but we are actually trying to find, is there any kind of relation what we are doing. Okay, so in the normal multiplication, what we do is we just pick one number and then pick one number from other number. This is my num1 and this is my num2, and 1 and 2. Okay, one digit from here, one digit from here, and how I multiply is, this digit is multiplied with this digit, then this digit, then this digit, some result come. Okay, then I pick this digit, I multiply with this and this, some result come again. I then pick this digit and multiply with this and this again, and some more result will come after the multiplication. And after I have multiplied with all the digit this entire thing, then I will just sum up all these results and gain some final result, right? That's how we do multiplication. So let's do one simple multiplication of these two sample input so that we can gain some significant insight on it. Okay, so this is my 123 and this is my 456. Let's multiply them. Okay, 6 into 3 18, 1 carry. 6 into 12, 12 plus 1 carry, 13. 6 plus 1, 6. 6 plus 1, 7. Okay, and now we usually put the crosshair, and then 5 into 3, 13, 15. 5 to the 10 plus 1, 11. 5 in the 5, 6. And then double crosses, and we should remove the carry, and then again 4 into 3, 12. 4 to the 8. 8 plus 1, 9. 4 ones are 4. Alright, we get some result and then we just add them. 8, 8, 10, 1, 16, 5. Alright, we get this result. Let's move the carry now. So we have this result. Let's keep it here. So we can clearly see what we were doing. We picked this number, then multiply with this, then this, then this. Then we picked 5, then we multiply with 3, then 2, then 1. Then again we picked 4, multiply with this. So we actually know what we are doing here, right? One thing I know now is if I have some two numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, what I need to do is first try to pick a value from this or value or the digit from here from my second number, and try to pick one digit from my first number, something like this, and then we multiply. Then we move on to other digit of first number, then again same thing, right? We are doing something like this. So now we know what thing we are doing, what is it we actually doing. Now what about these results, this, we know how we are going to travel in our. Now as we know, if we have two numbers 1, 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6, we just need to travel from right to left, all right, meaning that if their indexes are 0, 1, 2, then we are going to move from 2 till 0. Okay, this is one thing we have found. Other thing we have found is we have to pick one digit at a time. So we need to pick this and this. Okay, like this. So we are going to multiply them in this order, right to left, pick one digit and multiply. Okay, so let's name them. If I will pick a digit from this number, the first number, I will call it jval, and if I pick it from second number, I will call it ival. Okay, you can name it anything you want. I'm just calling it ival and jval. Even if I switch their names now, if I call ival this number and jval this number, it won't matter, because ultimately we are doing the same thing. It will be like 123 is multiplied by 456. Okay, as we already know, 123 into 456 equal to 456 into 123. It is basically the same thing, so it won't matter, right? So I have named this jval and ival. Now this is a string, we know that, and this is also a string, we also know that. But if I will try to make some changes in the string, it will be very difficult, right? And why do I need to create my answer in answer in string? I've been told that I should return it in string. This thing as a result, I have been told that I should only use strings, right? I have only been told that the answer should be returned in string. Okay, so I'm going to use some loophole here. Okay, what I'm going to do is, instead of using string to calculate anything, in this part, this whole thing, what I'm going to do, I'm going to use array. Okay, integer, I'm going to use integer array because these two are in string already. These two are in string, and it will be very difficult to keep maintaining my string. Okay, and if I will do try to maintain these strings now, it will be very confusing as well. So instead of focusing on how to balance this string, I will just try to solve all these operation in using a array, integer array basically, and it will be very much smoother to use that. And after I will find the result, this result, what I will do is I will convert this into string, this integer array into string. It will be very easy. Okay, so let's figure out how I'm going to create the result array. Okay, so we know this result is how much length this had, 5 length. Okay, and if you look closely, my num1 had length of 3, and 2 of this number is 3 also, and this was 5. Okay, so if I will do L1 plus L2, it will give me 6. The value of result was less than 6. The length of string, I'm saying. Okay, let's take some more example. Let's say 99 multiplied by 99 and 999 multiplied by 999. And why these two numbers? Simply because this is my largest 2-digit number and largest 3-digit number. If something, some way I will able to find, is there any connection between the length of this multiplication result with these two numbers, then I will be able to devise that for my own result. Okay, so let's multiply them. 81, 81, so 891, 891, 0, 0, oh, not 0, 1 here, 0, 1, 18, 9810. These two had combined length of 4, and this also had combined length of 4. Let's multiply them. 891, 891, 891 again, 1, 10, 19, 1, 18, 1. Okay, this had length of 5 and their combined length was 6. So I know that now the length of my result is equal to length of my num1. Okay, let me write it more clearly. Okay, so if my length of num1 is L1 and length of num2 is L2, then the length of my result will be less than or equal to L1 plus L2. That's what I have found. Okay, it won't be more than the sum of L1 and L2. This is the result that I have devised from multiplication of largest 2-digit number and largest 3-digit number. Alright, so now I know what this array size is, the maximum size it can take. I can create that. So in my sample test case, this is 3, and this is 456, so its length will be 3 also. Okay, let's write it. 123, 456. Let's create a array of result. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, this is result. All right. I know that I'm calling this digit this digit as jval. The digit that I'm taking from number 1 is jval, and digit that I'm choosing from this is I'm calling ival. Okay, now if I'm multiplying these two, I have to store it in this result. Okay, so for that I will also need a pointer for this result. So let's call it k. So I'm going to calculate ival first. So ival will be calculated as num2 I minus 0 character. This is character, right? Something like this will be used to calculate ival. Okay, and why is that? Simply because this is also a character, and I'm subtracting this 0 character, and whatever value this is going to give me, will be in my ASCII value. So I will get this 3 is an integer. Same thing, jval equals to num1 j minus 0. Like this, I will get value for this as well. Now I have these two values. Now at what point I should start my k? K should be started at L1 plus L2 minus 1. And why is that? Because we have 0 based indexing, right? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's why k will start at this point. Also, one thing I will need is carry. Alright, because each time I will multiply, I will generate some carry. Okay, so I think these are the only variable that I can think of right now. So let's multiply them now. Okay, so 6 multiplied by 3, 18. 1 is generated as carry. Okay, I am multiplying this and this, and will store it at here. Okay, so if I'm making these many variables, so let's create one more. Let's call it product. Okay, and its value will be ival multiplied by jval plus carry. Okay, because let's say for this 6 multiplied by 2, it will be 12, but there is one carry, so 13. So product, right? And what this is doing is this k is storing what? Product modulus 10. Remainder after the product is modulus by 10. So that's it. And carry is calculated as product divided by 10. Simple maths. Okay, So that's how we are doing. So let's do this. So I was giving just an example. I haven't multiplied it with 2 yet. So after all this is done, I will move my j-val to here, and I should I move I-val? No, I should not move I-val. It will remain till the j-val reaches the end, or I should say -1, because string is also using zero based indexing. This point is 0, this point is 1, this point is 2. Okay, and when I do this now, j-val is moved at this 2 place. I should also move my k. So let's move it also. So I moved it. Now I have to multiply 6 into 2. 6 to the 12. 12 and 1 is carry. So it will generate 1 as carry. And there was 1 in the carry also. So it will add. So 3 is present now at here. Okay. And 1 is generated as carry again. Now 5 into 1. But before that, I need to move j-val and also k. Alright, we have moved it. So now 5 into 1, it's 5, but we have to add carry. So 5 plus 1, 6. Oh, sorry, it was 6 multiplied by 1, not 5. So it will be 7. Right. So that's it. We have multiplied it. Now carry generated will be 0. And this j-val now will point to this, and k will point to this. But now j-val is pointing to -1 index, which is not possible. So what this j-val is going to do? J-val is going to move back to this 3 digit again. And what I-val is going to do? It is going to move here 5. Okay, and carry will reset as 0. Okay, if carry had anything 1, 2, 3, anything, so what this would do, we need to do k minus minus and add 1, or add carry only. This value will be 0, but we have to add this carry at this place. Okay, we need to remember that. Alright, now I-val has moved to 5 and j-val has moved back to 3 again. Now k is pointing at this place, second index at result. Should I move it or I should leave it here? Definitely I have to move it back, because if I don't move it back, it will try to add something at this place, but there was not anything to add at this place, right? But now where I should actually move it to? Should I place it back to this 5th index, or should I move to this index? Let's move it to this index, but it will cause me one problem, one simple problem. Look at this carefully. When I'm multiplying it with 5, I'm actually not multiplying it with 120 with 5. This 5 is actually 50. Okay, this 5 is not actually 5, but rather this is 50. This x is not really an x, it is 0. These x's are 0. Okay, so that's why. And also, if I I could use some small answer and create one array for this result, one array for this result, one array for this result as well. But if I will do that now, it will consume more memory, and at the end I will have to work on this same result once again. So instead of doing that now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to just move my pointer k to this place. See, when I start multiplying with 5 now, I was already doing that in my normal multiplication. I was leaving this place and moving here. So instead of moving back to this place, L1 plus L2 minus 1, I will move this time here. So at this time I was moving at L1 plus L2 minus 1. This time I was moving at L1 plus L2 minus 2, and this time I am moving at L1 plus L2 minus 3. Look at this carefully. I will find L1 plus L2 minus 1 is constant, and 0, minus 1 and minus 2. This thing is happening. Some more negative result is added each time. So I will call it some external force. Let's call it power factor, right? And I will say that each time my I is moved, this power factor become more negative. And when I will add to my k now, this power factor, it will give me the right position for the k pointer, my k pointer. Okay, so that's it. Now we have devised a way so that our k will move at the right place. When I am at multiplying with this 5, I will move here. When I will multiplying with this 4, I will move at index 3 instead of 5th index. Okay, and this power factor will be decreased each time. See, negative, it is moving in negative direction now. Minus 1, minus 2. So that's it. Initially it will be 0. Okay, let's write it somewhere. Pf equal to 0. Okay, now let's multiply them. 5 3s are 15. 1 is carry. Now what will happen? This 5 should be added at this place. This. Okay, so it can't happen that product modulus 10 now, because if I will do that, this 3 will be gone and 5 will be written here. But I don't want that. I want value for 3 also. So what I'm going to do is I will add my result of k as well in this product. Okay, and I will have to just make sure that this result array initially contains all the zeros like this. Okay, right now I am just removing them because I will have to write something later on. So I will have to initially make sure that this resultant array has zeros in it. Okay, so I will write just this and I won't have to change anything. So that's it. We have now 5 here. 5 plus 3, 8, or I should say 15. 15 plus 3, 18. 8 will come here. Let me write it clearly. 8 will come here. 1 will go carry. And that's it. Now, what will happen? K will move forward. J will move forward. Now 5 into 2, 10. 10 plus 1 carry, 11. 11 plus 7, this result K, 18. So 18, 1 is still carry. Okay, by this, and now 8 will come here. 8. Alright. Now K will move forward, J will move forward. Right. Now same thing, 5 into 1, 5. 5 plus 1 carry, 6. 6 plus, there's nothing here, 0. So I will write 6 here. That's it. Now K will move forward, J will move forward. As J is not pointing to anything now, it will move back and it will make K move back to this third index, and it will make I to move to fourth digit, the digit 4, not the fourth digit, digit 4. Alright. Now we should multiply with, start multiplying with here. And one more thing, carry will reset to 0. Now 4 multiplied by 3, 4 3s are 12. And we have 8 here, so it will become 20. So now 20 is present. So at this place 0 will come. Okay. Now 4 into 2. 4 2s are 8. 8 plus 2, 10. Okay. But before this, I should have moved it here and here. That's better. Yeah, I should have done that. Now I should have multiplied. Yeah, let's multiply it again. 4 into 2, 8. 8 plus 2, 10. 10 plus 6, 16. And 1 goes carry. 6 will remain as it is. Okay. Now K will move forward, J will move forward. And 4 into 1, 4. 4 plus 1, 5. 5 plus 0, also 5. So 5 will come here. And now J will move forward, I will move forward. Now J is not moving, pointing to anything else. It will move back. Okay. K should move back as well at second index. But now see very carefully. I val is not pointing to anything now. Now what this mean? This means that our multiplication is done. When my I val has reached the -1 index. Remember, this was my 0 index, this was 1 index, and this was second index. Okay, so that's why it is not pointing to anything. Now this means is my multiplication is done. Okay, if my multiplication is done, then this resultant array will contain the result. As you can see, it contains 56088. Also this 0 index will contain 0. Okay, now I just need to convert this resultant array into a string. Okay, now some of you may be saying, let's go travel to travel through this array one by one and pick one by turn each digit into character and put it into a string. Okay, let's do that. 0 5 6 0 8 8, but we have this additional 0. We only want this, we don't want any leading zeros in the string. So if you don't want that now, we need to remove the leading 0. Okay, so how we can do that? Okay, the first idea that comes to mind is just put a check if res I equal to 0, continue, else add it to string, add element of this to string, or res I in the string, like that. Okay, convert it into string and put it in the string. That is my answer string. But if I will do that now, it will create problem. See, I have, let's do a small dry run. I 0, this condition will run, it will continue, won't add to string, 5 add to string, 6 add to string, 0. Okay, doesn't this condition validates? 0 won't add, this will add, and this will add. Now we have a number, but it is missing 1 0, which should have come here. At this place 0 should come, but we have lost it because of this condition. So we need to put one more check so that this 0 is not lost. Okay, so before I will start my loop now, I will make a variable called flag and I will keep it as false. And what this is going to do, this is just going to tell me that if I have encountered any non-zero integer or not. Once I have encountered a non-zero integer, it means one thing, that now whatever 0 will come, I will have to include in my answer. So I will just do it like this. And in the else case, what I will do, I will say flag equal true, meaning it has found a non-zero integer. Okay, and here I will add one more condition, flag equal to false, meaning at this time we haven't encountered any leading zeros, sorry, non-zero integer. Okay, so that's it. Now there is only one condition remaining that I will tell you while we are coding. Okay, so let's try to implement our approach into code. So let's code it. Alright, so first thing what we need is the length of num1 string and num2 string. So in L1 equal to num1 dot length, and same thing L2 equals num2 dot length. Alright, now we need to create a new array called result array equal new int L1 plus L2. Okay, and now we need is I and j. Okay, now we were talking about I val and j val, but where does this I val and j val came from? It is coming from our strings, and for strings, what pointer we should use? I and j we are using, so I and j are nothing but that. So I will create I as L1 minus 1. Okay, in the explanation I had told you that I as L2 minus L1. It doesn't really matter because, as I said earlier, if I multiply 123 into 456 or 456 into 123, the result will be same. So it doesn't matter I use L1 or L2 here, or if I use it for I or I use for J, I will get the same answer. So for simplicity, I am using L1 so that I won't forget it. Okay, if you want, you can use L2 here, no issue. Okay, so I1 greater than equal to 0, as we were moving from right to left. Right. Now, first thing we are going to do is calculate our I-val, which will be equal to num1 dot char at, because we are trying to figure out the character, and char at I minus 0 index. We are doing by ASCII values. Okay, and I have to make sure that I is greater than equal to 0. If this is true, then only I will do calculation for ASCII, else 0. Okay, although this condition won't run, but for being in the safer side. Okay, now I will decrease I. Alright, now simply I need to write same thing, L1 minus L L2 minus L1 for J. Okay, now K, pointer for my resultant array, this array, L1 plus L2 minus 1 plus power factor. We have already discussed what was that. It was nothing but telling me when my I shifted, I should shift initial position of K by 1 also. So PF equal to 0, that's it, and PF should decrease by 1 every time. Also, I have to create one carry here also. Int carry equals to 0 and J is greater than equal to 0, or carry is greater than 0, because remember, while doing addition, multiplication, if your carry isn't 0, it means that the product is completely not formed. So we have to do this. Now, although this condition was not valid for my I-val, but I just wrote it for simplicity, because here this condition will be actually useful. And why is that? Because it is possible that my number is ended, but there is some still leftover carry. So this condition is useful here. Well, this is not useful, so let's remove it, because this will always run till this point. Alright, so this is valid for here. Okay, now what I was doing was creating a product. Product was equal to I val multiplied by j val plus carry plus rest of k, and res k equals to product modulus 10, remainder that is made for the product, and carry equals to product divided by 10, quotient of product when divided by 10. Okay, now j minus minus k minus minus, that's it. Okay, convert it into character to integer, and that's it. Now we just need to create a string. Let's call it str. Let's keep it empty for now, and we need a flag, Boolean flag. This Boolean flag will tell me if my first non-zero element is seen or not. If it is seen, then only I will have to add 0 to my answer string. Okay, so let's use a for each loop. Int le for result if flag equal false, meaning till now I haven't seen any number which is non-zero, and right now I'm seeing a 0, meaning it is a leading 0. Then what I need to do is just continue. Else, although even if I don't write else now, this thing will run. Write else or not, this below thing will run if this condition is not followed, because after this, if condition is followed, this continue will move back to up. Okay, so first thing, when else condition is encountered, turn flag to true and add string, and what I should add, le, that's it, and at the end I should return str. Now I'm doing concatenation here, and this is not actually considered using library of the Java, so this is not out of scope for me. So that's it. I think this will run. Let's run it now. So we got successful submission for a sample test case. Let's submit it. So it passed all the test cases, but there is a mistake in the program. Okay, so it may have run for our test cases, but let's take a new test case. Let's put 0 here. Now let's run it. What do you think this will give? Okay, I should tell you right now what it should give. It should give me 0. And what it is going to give me? Let's run and find out. It gave me empty string. Strange. It should have given me 0, but it gave me empty string. Let's change it. Now I have made num2 0. Still I should get 0, right? Let's see what I will get now. Okay, so we got nothing again. Shouldn't we get 0? There's some mystery here. Actually, there is no mystery here. because here, look at it, this place. I have put empty string, and every time either at this place or at this place, 0 will be multiplied by 0, and each time it will produce answer for 0. And look at this condition, flag equal to false, flag equal to false. What this will do is that it will try to find one positive number, at least one non-zero number, but it won't find any number here because entire result will be 0. So there will be nothing but leading zeros only. So this else condition will never hit, and it will return me just the empty string. So for that, I need to create one small check before the start of my program, and that is if either my num1 is equal to 0 or num2 dot equals to 0, then what I should return? I should return 0 string, because if we multiply anything by 0, it will give me 0. So that's it. Let's run it now. Let's run again. Okay. Let's put 0 in one of the inputs. And now it is giving me the correct answer, which is 0, not empty string. So our test case is, all the test cases that we can think of are handled now. So that's it for the solution of the string multiplication problem, and I hope that you have understood it well. And now you also know why we are trying to multiply using strings. Okay, so that's all for the solution of this video, and I'll see you in the next video.